Big game for Matt Ryan, guys. This was his time to prove if he was gonna be different from all those other rookie quarterbacks who would look good and show you flashes, but ultimately you would always find yourself saying, wait till next year. They were coming off that disappointing loss to Denver that they know they should have won, facing the division-leading Panthers, very good Panthers team that had beaten them earlier this year. Gut check time, and they pulled it out. And I gotta say, I liked what I saw out there all around. They let the running game dominate. Fed the ball to Michael Turner, and he had a huge game, 4 touchdowns. Some of the lesser-known guys got involved. Harry Douglas made several huge plays for the Falcons. He had that huge catch, the punt return, the rushing touchdown. That's the kind of stuff you need to pull off an upset usually. You need unexpected contributions. That's what they got from a guy like Harry Douglas. It was pretty much a shootout, and the Falcons pulled away at the very end. It was, very competitive and all that, but you definitely saw something happen with Atlanta. They needed this win to stay alive, and they got it. They had, all those tough losses against Philadelphia and Denver, where maybe Matt Ryan was under his usual level of play. He needed to make up for it, and he did in this game. And everybody helped him and stepped up. They were very good in the red zone. They weren't kicking no field goals. They were getting touchdowns. The defense got good pressure on Delhomme and forced enough stops. Great game from Atlanta, and I don't know if they're going to be in the playoffs or not, but they're alive. Carolina, I thought they could take care of business and silence things, and, it was a little bit of a poor performance by them, admittedly. Jake Delhomme played better than he had in the last several weeks. He sort of got things rolling again, which is good to see. D'Angelo Williams was good. It was a nice running back battle between Turner and Williams. Steve Smith raped the world. He had a huge game against pretty mediocre Atlanta secondary, but it was not enough. It was a good game, and Atlanta came out on top. I can't say too much bad about either team. I will say Carolina committed a lot of penalties. Giants-Cardinals, I saw the end of this game, was, tracking it online when I could, and pretty much what I expected. Arizona, they can put up points. Their passing attack can completely ruin pass defenses. Bolden and Fitz and Breston, we know what they can do. They still don't have a running attack, which hurt them in the long run. They still turn it over a little more than they would like. That hurts. Ultimately, their defense was pretty much getting pushed to the side, even though Brandon Jacobs was not in the game, who was probably the Giants' best offensive player. Big game from Eli. He's starting to work his way back into the MVP conversation. Plexico Burress is an afterthought at this point. He's making it work with whoever the hell is open. Dominic Hickson, Kevin Boss, Amani Toomer, Steve Smith, whoever gets open is his favorite receiver. And it's refreshing to see a team move away from a prima donna like Plexico Burress. Usually they kiss his butt until he's cool, but they're just gravitating away from him. I like it. Again, this game was pretty much what I expected. The Giants are just in a league above the rest of the NFC right now. That's how it is, but valiant job by Arizona. They gave it their all out there, I think. Just wasn't enough. Colts 23, Chargers 20. Good game, very entertaining game. I didn't watch part of the end. I tuned in just in time for the Vinatieri kick, but I did watch almost all of it, but I had to go watch the 24 special, which is pretty good, by the way. So if you haven't seen it yet, what the hell are you doing watching this video? Go watch it right now. Anyway, from the Indianapolis side of things, the wheels definitely coming back on. Manning is proving that the first 5, 6, 7 games of the season were pretty much flukes, and he is back in the saddle. He just needed some time to work himself in after that injury. The offensive line lost Jeff Saturday and really didn't lose too much. They were able to survive without Jeff Saturday, which I felt was big because they weren't doing that earlier in the season when Saturday was out. They ran the ball all right. Gonzalez continues to develop. He's really becoming a nice player. Harrison, he's starting to look a little less pathetic out there. It was a little depressing to watch him at points this season, but he's starting to look a little better out there. That fourth down catch was huge. And if Manning does not slightly underthrow that pass, which makes Harrison go back for it, he catches that and he runs for a big touchdown to seal the game. So, just a thought. They had that big turnover, forcing that fumble on Rivers, Robert Mathis in the red zone. That was huge. If that play doesn't happen, who knows what goes on. They got pretty good pass pressure. They stopped the run all right. And other than a couple of points in the game, I felt they played solid defensively. San Diego, I'm not gonna get on them too much because I think they threw the kitchen sink at Indy. This Chargers team, it's probably not that good right now. In this game, Rivers played excellent. LT played one of his better games this year. There were several receivers stepped up and made big plays. Floyd, Jackson, Chambers. The kicker nailed a clutch kick. The defense got okay pressure, forced a turnover, managed to force the Colts into several punts and field goals. I think that they went out there and gave it everything they had, but it wasn't enough. Sometimes your best isn't enough. The Colts are better than the Chargers, and that's why they won. It wasn't because Norv Turner is a crappy coach or anything like that. Colts are just a better team. Wrap things up with some Packers and Saints. Big shootout. Very fun game to watch if you're into that sort of thing. Drew Brees showing why he is an MVP candidate on a team that probably won't make the playoffs. If he wins it, I've got no complaints because he is playing out of his mind this year. He's going to break a record or two. I would not be averse to it at all. Big game for Pierre Thomas, one of those undrafted rookies who, why did he go undrafted? He was probably productive in college. He was probably a good player in college, but because he didn't run a 4.240, he got overlooked. And that's where these players come from sometimes. Just gotta keep an eye out for them and find them. Really just an excellent effort all around by the Saints. There's offense. There's not much else you can say. They flawless, more or less. Other than that one Lance Moore pass, the wide receiver pass that got picked off and almost got returned for a pick. I don't know what was up with that play call. That was Sean Payton. He'll give you a heart attack sometimes like that. Packers. Obviously, not much of a defense from them. Those corners, they're supposed to be elite, very physical, very hard to deal with. And they did not show up. They were not on their game last night. So, like Al Harris has always been a guy who talks big, and then he gets burned by Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, all these guys. They seem to have a propensity to burn him after he talks big smack. So it's just worth noting. Mainly for Green Bay, I felt that after Rodgers threw that first interception to Jason David, he lost his confidence and his composure. He was throwing incompletions. He was making bad reads, desperately heaving it up there. He just really looked shaky after that first interception. And, he's still a young guy. He didn't play too well last night. It wasn't his fault they lost. But I think he lost his confidence, and that's about it. Really, the Packers' offense actually played pretty well. Rodgers made some nice passes. They ran the ball okay. I can't say like they were awful or anything, but they're 5-6 now, and they got to fight to stay alive. All right, Thursday Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I probably won't make a video tomorrow. I might not, but we got 3 games tomorrow. Of course, I got to take Dallas, but I will be really pulling for Seattle to pull this off just for all the smack talk rights I could earn there, because Dallas is a team fighting for a playoff spot, and it would almost make it worth it to go into Dallas and beat them in Texas Stadium and at least earn that little bit of respect. So I'm going to be pulling hard. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm picking Dallas, hoping for the best. And of course, I'm taking the Titans over the Lions and the Eagles over the Cardinals. See you guys later. I'm taking the Eagles just because of the East Coast trip. That's a long trip for Arizona. Otherwise, I'd absolutely take the Cardinals. But that East Coast trip has me thinking Philly.